One of those guys that was off in the corner, nobody knew about it. I played a little bit of baseball, and I was pretty good. Played a little bit of sports, but I was just really off in the corner, really kind of closed off in the shell. And I guarantee you, most people today, when they see that I'm running for a political office and what I'm in the midst of right now, some of them just can't hardly believe it. I was one of those people that was most likely to never amount to anything. But God has done a tremendous work in my life, and He's blessed me in so many different ways. After we got married, Kathy and I went to college together, graduated from Shorter College together. We then went on out after pastoring for a couple of years. We went on out to seminary, Fort Worth, Texas. I graduated with a Master's Divinity degree there. She graduated with a Master's Church Music degree. We worked 35 years in ministry. I've been a pastor. She's been leading music. And it's been good. And the Lord's blessed us in a tremendous way. I remember one had a guy visit the church one time. Oh, it's happened more than one. And he said, Mike, I like the preaching. I love the church, but I got a problem with the woman standing behind the pulpit. You know what I told him? You might as well just go on down the road. Because me and Kathy, we come as a team. And we've been a team. And we'll always be a team. But, I never thought about politics growing up. I really did. I'm like a lot of young people growing up. I was just having a good time, not worried about anything. I registered to vote when I was just about to graduate from high school. And the first got time to vote that year, and I went and told my dad, I said, Dad, tell me how to vote. I mean, I don't know anything and never voted. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. And back then, it was when they had those big old machines that were about as big as this, it had the curtain on it and everything. You remember the old hand, you had to take them over here and push this away. It closed the curtain up behind you. That's enough to scare you to death anyway, get in that thing, you can't get out. But then it had all these little flip levers you had to flip all the way down. I said, well, Dad, you tell me how to do all that. He said, well, son, you don't need to worry about anything. He said, there's one lever up at the top. You just flip it, and it flips all the Democratic levers all the way down. He says, we're Democrats, always been Democrats, always will be Democrats. You go vote that straight Democratic ticket. So I went in there that day. I closed that lever, pulled that lever over, that curtain closed behind me. I looked up there, I found that one lever, and I flipped that one, and sure enough, it turned every lever all the way down that Democratic side. I voted a straight Democratic ticket. I moved that lever back to the other side, that turned opened up my left. That was my first voting experience. And the first and last time that I've ever voted that way in my life. In 1983, after getting out of seminary, Kathy and I moved to Coolidge to be the pastor of Coolidge Baptist Church. And in 1986, one of the deacons came up to me and he said, Mike, I want you to run for mayor. Now, Coolidge is not a big town, okay? It's actually a town about 500. He said, we want you to run to be the mayor. I said, I don't know. The church there isn't a big church either, but it is the biggest church in town. I thought, I don't want to be the pastor of the church and the mayor. I don't know about this. And he said, well, just sign up. He said, you might not win anyway. And he knew I was poor. He knew we had young kids at home. So he said, I'll pay you qualifying fee, which is about $50 or something like that. So I said, okay. He paid the qualifying fee. I went in and I qualified and signed up to run to be the mayor of the big city of Coolidge. Now, not knowing that in that little town where everybody knew everybody else, they had already decided if we can just get the preacher to sign up to run, nobody else qualified. And so when the qualifying was over with, nobody else qualified. I was the only one that qualified. So they said, good, you're the mayor. They canceled the election, didn't have to have anything. And so I became the mayor of the big city of Coolidge. I was mayor there for about almost 4 years during that time. And I tell them my legacy as mayor of Coolidge that I brought to town cable TV. Big deal now. 1986, we're not talking about Dish Network or DirecTV, we're talking about cable TV. Brought cable TV to town and we got a new sewer system. That's my legacy. I think one day they're going to call me back and name that holding pond after me or something. That'll be my lasting legacy over there on the backside of town. And there people drive by there and see my name on that fence over there. But I remember that. That was my first experience serving in elected office. We had long council meetings. The council members got paid $25 a month, and the mayor I got paid $50 a month. And we got all that money about 2 weeks before Christmas. They just gave it to you as a Christmas bonus, which came in pretty good, for a Baptist preacher in a little church that had kids at home. But that was my first experience in elected office. In 1990, I was asked to run for the Thomas County School Board. They built a new Thomas County Central High School out on the bypass going around Thomasville. And the school board had decided after all those years, it's always been Thomasville High School.